This might be one of the most embarrassing losses of the entire season because the Miami Heat just lost at home 115 to 111 to the Utah Jazz. Yes, the Utah Jazz, one of the worst teams in the NBA, a team that is actively trying to tank, a team that is openly rebuilding, a team that is literally trying to lose games for draft position. And they still came into Miami and they beat the Miami Heat last night at home, which is absolutely disgusting and unacceptable. And Heat fans, I already know what you're feeling right now because I'm feeling the exact same way. This this wasn't just a loss. This is one of those losses that make you sit back and go, what are we even doing here? Because Heat Nation, this is one that should worry us because the game actually was good in the beginning. Like the Miami Heat came out like they understood the assignment that they were supposed to win a game against the tanking team that sucks. And they had energy and they had a lead. And we thought they were going to handle business early, put them away. But by the third quarter and the fourth quarter, this simply did not happen. And when you're playing a lottery team, you don't mess around. You don't play down to their level. You step on their throats early, and the Miami Heat weren't able to capitalize. And as the game went on, the Jazz just kept hanging around, and the Miami Heat could not separate. So Miami couldn't build on that 15-point lead to put it to a 20, 30-point lead. And that is something you absolutely need to do against a team that is horrible like the Jazz. And all of a sudden, the Jazz are up 85 to 82 heading into the fourth quarter. And now you're in a dogfight at home against the team that's literally trying to lose games. And the worst part, the Jazz didn't win because they played some perfect game or they were amazing. They won because Miami gave it away. They won because Miami made the same mistakes that they've been making all season. And the Miami Heat simply have no killer instinct right now because this game was for their taking. Miami had chances to take control. They had chances to put the Jazz away. And every time the Miami Heat got momentum, they made a mistake. They'd get a stop and then turn it over. They'd hit a big shot, then give up an easy layup. They'd build a lead and then commit to a dumb foul, throw a horrible pass and get a turnover. They'd go in a mini run and take terrible shots. And this is what separates contenders from mid teams. The Miami Heat, they are a mid team. Contenders close games and find ways to win games against good teams and bad. And the bad teams like the Miami Heat, they find ways to lose. This is the Miami Heat's cycle because, again, they play up for the good teams, but when they play the bad teams, they play down to their level. And Heat fans, we've seen this story way too many times for the last few years. And what makes this, again, even worse is Utah is literally tanking. Like, when I say tanking, I mean like they're not good and they just suck and they don't have talent. Like they are literally playing random lineups. They're developing their young players. They're sitting out starters. Lowry, Markkanen, and Triple J and Nurkic were subbed out with 5 minutes left in the third quarter and never returned. This team, they're thinking about the future. They're focused on draft position. They need to get a top 8 pick or they lose it. They're basically saying, we're rebuilding. We're not trying to win right now. Take the game. And yet their team came in late and outplayed the Miami Heat players. They played hungry. They played with effort. They played fearless basketball. And Miami played like they expected Utah to just fold. And that's what happens when you don't take a team seriously. You let them hang around. You let them believe. And then by the fourth quarter, Utah is playing loose and free, and Miami is playing tight and overthinking, and you could feel it. Utah's bench was hitting shots. Utah's young guys were flying around, playing hard, and Miami looked like they were waiting for somebody else to save them. And that's a horrible sign because if you can't beat the Utah Jazz at home when they're tanking, how are you going to win against good teams? So what went wrong in this game? I don't know why I'm even talking about this, but they obviously didn't execute late. This was another game where the Miami Heat had opportunities in crunch time and they failed, didn't capitalize. They took bad shots. They had bad positions. They hesitated. There was no flow. There was no rhythm. This was just a game that got tight, and you needed a guy to settle everything down. You didn't have Norm. You didn't have, well, Hero's never playing, basically, but you didn't have that guy to settle the game down. They had defensive breakdowns, and the Jazz were getting so many clean looks, easy layups at the rim. And the Miami Heat, they were slow on rotations. They were slow on closeouts. They weren't physical enough. You can't let a team like the Utah Jazz that are young get comfortable and in rhythm. And rebounding, we know the Jazz are a huge team. And so the Miami Heat got out rebound, and Utah played like they were fighting for their lives, boxing out, getting every loose ball. Miami played like it was just another Monday night, basically. So too much inconsistency for the Miami Heat. That's been the theme for this season. Miami's inconsistent. One night they look like a playoff team. They beat the Pistons. The next, they look like a lottery team, losing to the Kings, the Mavs, to Chaz. And Heat fans are tired of it. I'm tired of it. And now, before I keep going, like, because trust me, I want to keep talking crap on how bad they were last night. We do have one bright spot that I do want to talk about, that, and that is Kasparis Yakachonis, our rookie. He was amazing last night. He was one of the only players on the floor that looked like he was playing with real urgency. He was confident. He was aggressive. He was attacking. He was making plays. His three-point shooting has been amazing the last few games. And every time he touched the ball, something happened. Yes, he missed that wide open three in the corner late to win the game. I get it. That's going to be something people are going to talk about, but I'm not blaming him. That was a tough shot. And he was the only reason why this Miami Heat really was in the game, because of his shooting, because of his playmaking. And if anything, he outplayed veterans tonight. And that should tell you everything you need to know about this kid. This dude plays with energy, hunger, confidence, and that's something that the Miami Heat needs. And now here's where this gets real. Miami is a franchise that will never tank. Pat Riley doesn't believe in it. Spo doesn't believe in it. This organization believes that losing on purpose is not good. And I respect that normally, but Heat culture is built on competing. But here's a problem. If you refuse to tank or take a step back, then you better be good. You better be dangerous. You better be legitimate and be a playoff threat. And right now, Miami is not that. We are a middling team, and we're stuck in the worst place in the NBA, which is a mediocre team. We're not bad enough to rebuild. We're not good enough to contend. We're stuck in the middle. We're going to be in the play-in for the fourth year in a row. You don't get rewarded for being mid. You get punished, honestly, because you don't get a lottery pick or a chance to compete. So last night was a perfect example. Utah's trying to lose. They still beat us. So if you're Miami and you're not tanking and you're still losing to teams that are tanking, then what exactly is the plan? We have no plan. We have no direction. That's the scary part, because at least teams like Utah have a direction. They're rebuilding. They're developing. They're sucking on purpose. They're stacking up assets. Miami is just floating and hanging around and trying to survive. And at this point, it's time to play the kids. I'm serious, because if you're going to lose games anyway to the Utah Jazz, you might as well give Kashad time, Cass. You need to give Myron Gardner time. Obviously, Pella, Jaime, even Jovic, who's been horrible this season. Play those guys. No need to play Fontecchio, Drew Smith, even Wiggins at this point. Like, what's the point? You're still getting outworked by teams. You're still losing games. You're basically a 500 team. You're mid. Why not give those players, like also Kel'el Ware, I didn't even mention, give him an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to find a role? Like, I get Spo has basically said that, when players earn their minutes or play in meaningful minutes and competitive minutes, they can grow. But the inverse is also true. So players do grow on crappy teams. And it's just been rough watching this Miami Heat team right now, because it's the same movie every single week. They're in a close game. In the third quarter, there's bad execution, late collapse, and another frustrating loss. It's exhausting. And honestly, at this point, the Miami Heat need to figure something out, because we didn't make a move during the trade deadline. We didn't improve our roster, and we're not going anywhere. We're going to be another play-in team. If we win and get out of the play-in and make the playoffs like we always do, our consolation prize is playing against probably the Pistons or the Celtics or the Knicks, who are probably going to sweep us, or most likely maybe it'll be a gentleman sweep where we win one game, maybe two at best, and lose in the first round. So what are we even doing here at this point? Why do we even want to be an eighth seed? I'm hoping that the Miami Heat just lose the play-in so we can get a better pick in the draft. And yeah, it's just a tough, horrible loss last night. And I get it. The fans that want to actually tank and want us to step back should be happy that the Heat lost, but they're still pissed. And they're pissed because we're not intentionally tanking. We're just bad. So I understand. Like, I it's hard for me to root against my team, honestly. But at this point, after a loss like that again, and we've lost to the Pacers, I believe, the Kings, the Mavs, a few other horrible teams. We just lost to the Bulls recently, the Hawks. It's just rough, man. Like, there's no consistency. There's no continuity. I think this Miami Heat team does need to take a step back and just, again, let's not focus on Wiggs. Let's not focus on any of those types of veterans. Like, let's just unleash Pella, unleash Cass, unleash anybody and everybody. Kel'el Ware, especially, let him play, learn through his mistakes. I'm just tired of it, and so is the Heat Nation. So anyway, let me know your thoughts about this game, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.